Thank you for joining us. Welcome to LumioseStation.
What's up, LumioseStation, and welcome back to another episode of the Pokémon DataDex with me, TheOneIntegral. Last week we were covering Archeops, one of the fossil Pokemon from the Unova region, and I told you guys if we hit, I think it was 800 likes, then you'd be getting a Mega Evolution this week, and guess what? You hit 800 likes, so well done on you guys for that. Let's keep the support going. This week, to round off the fossil, I wouldn't say week, it's the fossil month, except it's like over a month and a half, something like that. Fossil month, for DataDex we are covering Aerodactyl, and obviously Mega Aerodactyl, its Mega Evolution. So, in the next episode, we're going to be voting for the next episode rather, we're going to be voting for another Pokemon as well, guys. So I want you guys to let me know down below in the comment section whether you want to see Ursaring or Donphan in the next episode. Both Pokemon from the Johto region. So comment Ursaring if you want to see Ursaring covered, or comment Donphan if you want to see Donphan covered in the next episode of the Pokemon DataDex. So put them in the comments now, guys, and I guess we'll see which one comes out top. But for now, let's start covering Aerodactyl. So, Aerodactyl, it's the fossil Pokemon and a rock flying type. It's number 142 in the National Pokédex and also appears in the Coastal Kalos Pokédex, being the only fossil Pokemon that's not from the Kalos region to appear in the Kalos Dex, as number 68. Obviously this is because of Mega Aerodactyl. So, the Aerodactyl's dimensions, or more like wingspan, is 5'11" or 1.8 meters. Could be wingspan, could be actual height, we don't know, it's not actually specified, which is really quite annoying. It weighs 130.1 pounds, or 59 kilograms, and is in the flying egg group for breeding. It's a male majority of the time, as is with all the fossil Pokemon, as I explained in the last episode, because that's how they died out, pretty much. Aerodactyl does not evolve into any Pokemon or evolve from any Pokemon normally. Obviously we have a Mega Evolution, but it doesn't evolve, normally. It has a Mega Evolution, but not a normal evolution. Looking at Aerodactyl's base stats quickly, we can see here it has pretty low health points, defense and special defense being 80, 65 and 75 respectively, but a fairly high attack stat being 105 and a pretty darn good speed stat at 130. Its special attack is also very lacking at 60, but, obviously Aerodactyl is a physical attacker, guys. We're not going to use its special attacking. If you use a special attacking Aerodactyl, I need you to leave. Just go, please, now. So, as you can see, main stats are speed and attack, so it's going to be a fast, physical attacker, most of the time at least. So, being a rock flying type, Aerodactyl has a good few resistances, a good few weaknesses, and one immunity. It resists normal fire, flying, poison, and bug type moves, is weak to water, rock, electric, ice, and steel type moves, and is immune to ground type moves. Takes neutral damage from all the other types. So, it's alright, it's not brilliant. It has a lot of weaknesses, which are some of the fairly common: water, electric, pretty damn common moves. Ice is fairly common too. Steel is slightly more common now because of fairy types. So really need to watch out for Aerodactyl. It's a glass cannon. It doesn't have that high defenses. Its defenses, they're not terrible, but they're not brilliant either. So you have to watch out when you use it. That immunity to ground there is good because you can switch in on earthquakes fairly easily, but you have to watch out in case someone uses gravity. You are then going to be very weak to rock because you're going to be weak to it, I guess. That's pretty much it. So, then we're looking at Aerodactyl's abilities. It has 3 available, 2 normal ones and then a hidden ability. First normal one is a rock head, which protects it from recoil damage, which is pretty good. I think Aerodactyl can make use of that in some cases. The other ability it has available to it is pressure, which raises the opposing Pokemon's PP uses, so it doubles the amount of PP they have to use. So instead of just using 1 PP per move, they end up using 2. It's alright. It could come helpful once in a while when you're trying to stall out a staller, pretty much. However, Aerodactyl's not bulky, so it's not like you can sort of just stay out and stall, really. So it's going to be useful once in a while, but really, Rockhead's not any use at all unless you're carrying any recoil moves, so you may as well run pressure. But of course, if you can always try and run a recoil move because you have Rockhead available to it, I guess. Aerodactyl's hidden abilities are Nerve, which unnerves opposing Pokemon and makes them unable to eat berries. This is okay, again, only useful in some situations though if the opponent has a berry and your Aerodactyl is out. So really, it's dependent on the opposing Pokemon and dependent on a situational basis. It's not like Rockhead, which is going to benefit every single one of your moves. So, we should take a quick look at the highlighted moves we have for Aerodactyl here. Starting off with some TM, because there are no level up moves that Aerodactyl gets that we might want to use competitively. We start off with TM12, which is Taunt. This is useful for a lead Aerodactyl. You can taunt so you don't have to deal with any spikes or rocks or anything like that. TM19 is Roost, which is your health point recovery method, with obviously Aerodactyl here, because you have Roost, you're a flying type. Then we have TM26 Earthquake. Everyone knows about Earthquake. Earthquake is very common. Then we have TM38 Fire Blast. This is a special attack, guys, and you guys know how much I said about the special attacks at the start. It's not a terrible move, however it's not brilliant. We'll talk more about it later. Then TM71 we have Stone Edge, very powerful rock type move, and that's your main stab there. Then some transfer moves we have. First is Aqua Tail, which is going to obviously be a water type, physical as well, so it's going to cover some Pokemon obviously that you may be weak to, may not be weak to, stuff like that, especially rock types for example. It's going to be good coverage for that, and also just good coverage for other types as well. You might not be able to hit some other moves. Then we have another a transfer move rather, which is Double Edge, which obviously takes advantage of Rock Head, guys. So if you're going to run Double Edge, you may as well run Rock Head, because why not? Double Edge is a very powerful normal type move, and obviously with Rock Head you get their recoil, so there's nothing to worry about there. The last transfer move we have is Stealth Rock, which is going to be sort of a good to go with your taunt lead as well, because obviously you can taunt and then set up some Stealth Rocks. We're obviously going to talk more about that later on. Then we have two moves learned via Heart Scale, which are Fire Fang and Ice Fang. Just Fang moves, pretty much just coverage there. Fire and Ice, which is good. A bit more coverage for yourself there. Fire is going to cover your Ice type and Steel type weakness, and the Ice is just going to cover, well, not really much, but it could cover Dragon types, you know, Dragon types, Ground types, other types you might not be able to have anything against anyway. So that's the 10 highlighted moves there for Aerodactyl. Let's take a quick look at Mega Aerodactyl before we look at the sets. So Mega Aerodactyl stays the same typing as normal Aerodactyl, being a rock flying type, but gets slightly bigger, having a wingspan of 6 foot 11 inches or 2.1 meters, and now weighs 174.2 pounds or 79 kilograms. So gaining a bit of weight when it Mega evolves. Just let itself go, sort of thing. Aerodactyl can be attained from the scientist in the Ambret Town Fossil Lab after you've spoken to the scientist in Glittering Cave. So you can get it pretty much before the second gym, which is pretty cool. Especially if you manage to find an Aerodactyl somewhere or trade one across or something like that. Its ability, Mega Aerodactyl's ability, is Tough Claws, which powers up moves that make direct contact, which is very good for Aerodactyl. Its base stats sort of get a boost. Obviously health points doesn't get a boost at all. Defenses boost slightly, but just not by much, just up a slightly bit. So, defense to 85, special defense to 95. Attack rises to 135, so that's a pretty high boost there, boost of 30. Special attack gets a boost of 10, not much, just 10. And then speed gets a boost to 20 as well, to boost to 150. So it has a very high speed stat and a very high attack stat, so that's pretty good there, boost wise. So let's start looking at the Wi-Fi setups for Aerodactyl, Mega Aerodactyl. I think we have maybe one or two, no, 3 normal Aerodactyl sets and then 1 Mega Aerodactyl set, because Mega Aerodactyl is pretty standard. So starting off here we have on this Choice Band set to start off with, we have Stone Edge, Earthquake, Aqua Tail and Double Edge. Ability is Rock Head to get rid of that Double Edge recoil. Nature is Jolly. Held item, as you might guess, is a Choice Band, and the EUs are maximum attack and speed and the rest in defense. So, moveset wise, Stone Edge is your main stab, so that's why that's there. Earthquake is there for coverage against rock types, steel types, fire types, etc. Aqua Tail, again, just for coverage. Obviously, they're all physical moves, so Choice Band is going to benefit them all. And obviously, the Double Edge there is a very powerful move without any recoil for you. So, if something's not resisting Double Edge and not weak to any of your other moves, you can certainly go for the Double Edge there. So, a Psychic type, for example, you could use Double Edge. Ability is Rock Head to get rid of the recoil. Nature is Jolly because you just Aerodactyl's main boost, main advantage, main good thing about it is its speed, so you really want to boost up the speed as much as you can with the Jolly Nature, especially since you're using a Choice Band, not a Choice Scarf. You could try for an Adamant Nature and a Choice Scarf instead, just mixing it up, but you'd have to see about that. EVs, obviously maximum attack and speed, so you have the fastest you can, and you can do the most damage you can, and the rest in defense, just because if we look at Aerodactyl's main base stats, its defense is 65, and its special defense is 75, so it's just boosting up that defense stat just slightly, just try and bring it up to par with the special defense, just try. But obviously, it's a Choice Band set, so you just come in, use a move that's going to do the most damage to them, and then if you need to, you can switch out later on. That's pretty much all a Choice Band set is. So let's move on to the second set for Aerodactyl, which is a Focus Sash set, and this one is your lead one. So the moves we have here are Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Stone Edge, and then Fire Blast or Taunt. Ability is Unnerve, Nature is Hasty or Jolly, and held items are Focus Sash. EVs go maximum speed, and I'm splitting them 100 in attack and 156 in special attack. So as I said, it's your lead one. Obviously it can be used more as a lead if you're using Taunt rather than Fire Blast. So I'll talk more about that in a second. So Stealth Rock, really, you're going to come in, you want to set the Stealth Rock as soon as possible. Obviously, if you're using a lead, you could send it in. They might have a Talonflame here. So Talonflame might end up just U-turning and leaving, or just switching out, etc. Because obviously Talonflame is very scared of Aerodactyl. So Stealth Rock would be
good if you can set up on the first turn.
Then Earthquake is there for coverage. Stone Edge is there for your stab. Then we have Fire Blast or Taunt. Fire Blast could be there for coverage if you want it. Obviously, if you're using a lead, I would recommend Taunt, because Taunt would then stop them setting up rocks or whatever for you, and then allow you to set up rocks for them. If you're going to use Fire Blast, make sure you run the hasty nature, and obviously put the EVs in special attack. If you're not going to run Fire Blast, you can run Taunt instead. Pick the Jolly nature, and don't put any EVs in special attack, just maximise the attack as well, and then put some in defense as well, like we saw just now. Ability here is Unnerve, because obviously if we're using it as a lead, a very common lead you might see is Belly Drum Azumarill or Citrus Berry, so that might help out there. Other berry leads, so you might have a Chesto Berry Rest lead, I don't know. There are several other leads that involve berries, so Unnerve certainly help there. We have no double edge here, so really Rockhead is completely useless. Pressure, not too useless, not too useful, and obviously Unnerve then is the best choice. Held item Focus Sash, because that gives you at least one turn. So even if you go for a taunt and they end up attacking you, that means you're still alive, sort of thing. If they attack you with some crazy powerful attack, it means you at least get one thing up. Or if you just want to go and set the Stealth Rock up, you can set Stealth Rock up, and then you got turn free. You got turn free. So that's why I recommend the taunt, because you can go in taunt. If they're going to go for a status move, they're not going to be able to actually go for the status move, so they're going to end up losing the turn pretty much, and you're going to get full health points with a Focus Sash, and that allows you then two extra turns, assuming you're faster than them, of course. Whereas if you go taunt first, they end up attacking you anyway. You still have one more turn to set your Stealth Rocks or attack if you want to do some more damage. So that's really it for this set. As I said, I've explained using it as a lead, guys. You use it as taunt it, Stealth Rock it, attack if needed, and then you can always switch out later and bring him back in for another Stealth Rock and another taunt. If you get a really annoying stally Pokemon, you can always keep it in reserve for that. But that's really how to use that second Aerodactyl set. So let's move on to the third one, which is another one with Focus Sash apparently, but it's a slightly different one. Okay, so the moveset for this set is going to be Stone Edge, Earthquake, Double Edge or Fire Blast, and then Roost. Ability here is Rock Head or Pressure, depending on whether you're using Double Edge or Fire Blast. If you're using Double Edge, go for the Rock Head. If you're not, go for Pressure. And then Nature is Hasty or Jolly. Again, if you're, well, this is the wrong way around here for some reason, but if you're going to run Fire Blast, run Hasty. If you're running Double Edge, run Jolly. Held items are Focus Sash again, and the EVs are going maximum speed, 220 in attack, and 36 in special attack. So Stone Edge is your main stab again, Earthquake is coverage, Double Edge if you're running it is your powerful move with Rock Head, Fire Blast if you're running it is coverage for other types of grass types, etc., ice types, etc., steel types, etc. Then Roost is your health point restoration move. Obviously, I don't know what I'd recommend for this moveset really. You can try out either one, it depends what you're going to go down to. Either one you're going to end up with something getting you, whereas Double Edge is a powerful move, whereas Fire Blast is your coverage, so it's one hand, the other hand, I don't know, yeah. So the way you want to use this set, obviously if you're not using Fire Blast as well, don't bother putting any points in special attack, just maximise your attack again, put some defense. But how you want to use this set, well, you could use it as a lead, or you could just use it in a normal role in battle. Send in, use an attack or two. The Focus Sash is there, which is going to stop you getting taken out in one, so that's a good thing there. Obviously if you take some damage, maybe go down to like 75% health, take the opportunity and Roost up, because then you can obviously, if the Focus Sash hasn't activated yet, you can always be safe there, I guess. If you go in, there's Stealth Rock damage, might be worth roosting up immediately just so you can actually have your Focus Sash activate, sort of thing. That's up to you, it depends what situation you're in, obviously. But it's a case of coming in, doing damage, roosting up when you need to, just sort of hope and pray the Focus Sash works, sort of thing. I mean, also it's going to work as long as you're at full health points, but in some situations it'll give you, if they switch in, say their Charizard, and think, I can bop this thing with a, I don't know what Charizard would have against it, you guys get what I mean there, they might send in a Pokemon that you're actually strong against, but might think, okay, I can just, if it's a Greninja for example, they might send it in with Scold and try and take you out in one, but obviously you can hit back then with against the Scold with something else, sort of thing, and take them out in one hit there, so that's where the Focus Sash might come helpful. But really, yeah, that's how to use that set. There's not much to say. It's all situational based there, so you'd have to sort of think about it yourself and analyse the situation and then decide what to do from there. So let's move on to the last set for today, covering Aerodactyl, which is finally looking at Mega Aerodactyl. Hallelujah, everyone! Hallelujah! Okay, so moveset is Stone Edge, Fire Fang, Aqua Tail or Ice Fang, and then Aerial Ace or Roost. Ability is Pressure, Nature is Adamant, held items in Aerodactylite, and EVs are maximum attack and speed, the rest of defense. So very different to the sets we've seen so far. Moveset, we have Stone Edge, which is obviously your main stab. Doesn't get boosted by the Tough Claws ability, unfortunately, but it is still very powerful, hence why we have it there. Fire Fang is your fire coverage. It does get boosted by Tough Claws, hence why we're using Fire Fang. Then we have Aqua Tail or Ice Fang, both of them getting boosted by Tough Claws, and it really depends, it's up to you which one you want to use here, whether you want to use Aqua Tail for any boost in, or any coverage against fire types, or you've got fire type, you guys get what I mean though. Coverage really, it's up to you which one you use for coverage. Then we have Aerial Ace or Roost. Aerial Ace has contact, hence why it's actually there, even though you don't really see Aerial Ace too often. It is there because of the contact. Roost is there if you want to sort of try out a more bulky set for Mega Aerodactyl, just slightly more bulky, it's up to you though. Ability is Pressure. You could really run either of the three basic abilities. Obviously we have no double edge here, so Rock Head's not that helpful. But Pressure or a Nerve, it's up to you. You could run a Nerve for the chance to have a berry sort of thing, or you could just run Pressure because you might want it. You're going to be Mega Evolving immediately anyway, so it's not too much of a big deal. Nature is Adamant this time rather than Jolly, because when you're a Mega Aerodactyl, your speed is going to be phenomenal anyway, so really you want to just try and boost out your attack, because you're going to be able to take attacks because you're higher defenses, so that's a good thing too there. You could run a Jolly Natured Mega Aerodactyl to get all the speed, which is a possibility as well. You got to remember as well, guys, the turn on which you Mega Evolve doesn't get the speed boost, which is really quite annoying, so if you do run an Adamant, you're going to be slightly slower on the first turn, you're not going to get the speed boost because of your Mega Evolution, unfortunately, but you should be able to survive at least one attack after you Mega Evolve, to be honest. Held item, do I even need to talk about that, guys? EVs are maximum attack and speed, maximum speed, maximum attack to do more damage, and the rest in defense just because your defense is lowering your special attack, special defense. So how do you use this set, really? Mega Evolve as soon as you come in, then just use whatever move you need to, pretty much. Obviously, if you've got Roost and you're running Roost, you use Roost conservatively. Don't wait until the last minute, then use Roost. Use it conservatively and when you can, and obviously hit back with some Stone Edges, some Fire Fangs, Ice Fangs or Aqua Tails, or even Aerial Aces if you're running the Aerial Ace rather than the Roost. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I don't know how to explain how to use a Mega Aerodactyl set because it's pretty basic. Just use the move that does the most damage, to be honest. But guys, if you enjoyed this episode of the Pokemon DataDex, be sure to drop a like down below and show your support for the series, and be sure to vote in the comment section for either Ursaring or Donphan, which I'll be covering in the next episode of the Pokemon DataDex. So I thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed the episode, I'll be seeing you next time. Goodbye my friends.